Welcome to Impact 360 on AD4 TV Radio. I'm Anams Oluchi. Play for laurels, play for fame, play for money, play to inspire. All these are attributes of sports we all can relate with. Governments do, so also corporate bodies and athletes. However, women in sports cry wolf over seeming imbalance in the treatment accorded to them as compared to their male counterparts. Find out their growls in this report.
Despite the rise in women participation in sports, there is still a yawning and palpable gap comparatively with their male counterparts. These disparities are a global problem and continue to hinder equality in sports. There are many institutions and programs that hold back on facilitating or contributing to the ideals of gender equity in sports. Sports women all over the world face obstacles that range from lower salaries, fewer sponsorships, poor contracts, and inadequate or no media attention. In other words, and in the broader factor of ratings, women are at the bottom of the ladder. While women make up about 40% of athletes in sports, they get only 4% of media coverage. Women's sports are not considered with a deserved priority. Consequently, sports engagement for women are scheduled in less than desirable times and are barely talked about on the media. The lack of publicity makes them less anticipated nor watched, which in turn affects revenue generation, a key driver in today's sporting world. Similarly, in sports administration and coaching, women totter at merely 18% as qualified handlers and 9% of the senior coaching bracket. Nearly 40% of women in the sports industry face discrimination based on gender. While males in sports are seen as breathing heroes, the women are demeaned, objectified, and sexualized. Their physical looks tend to get more attention than their skills. Understandably, the women are reacting vehemently to the dissenting situation. For instance, on March 8, 2019, some 28 national team players in the US filed a gender discrimination lawsuit against the United States Soccer Federation. The players claimed to have played and won more games than the male team, but still get paid lower. The players said that institutionalized gender discrimination had not only affected their paychecks, but also affected their healthcare, training facilities, coaching, and travel arrangements for games. Serena Williams, a world-famous tennis champion, after being charged with verbal abuse, among other violations, during the US Open Finals, once expressed concerns over gender inequality. Williams was quick to point out that male players have been known to have said far worse, but barely got a slap on the wrist. There have also been other cases of gender inequality in sports that have been left untreated. Another interesting case is that of Lara Lugli, an Italian volleyball player who was fired after telling her employer she was pregnant. Though she miscarried a month later, the club refused to pay her £2,500 and instead sued her, accusing her of disproportionately selling her experience and hiding her desire to be a mother.
Let's look at another gender-related issue. In a male-dominated world where women are regarded to be frail, fragile, and delicate, not to be assigned or burdened with the tough physical task. Warfare, for instance, should be the exclusive pursuit of men. That is a so-called conventional wisdom some women have shown. Must be given a rethink because women have valor and can also be warriors.
Over time and across the globe, the role of women in society has been relegated to the background, especially in Africa, where they are often heard than seen. However, recently, Nigerian women have proved the perception wrong with impactful valor, bravery, and gallantry on several fronts. They have proven to be good managers and professionals in many spheres of life. In Nigeria, women have broken barriers and stood out. Among them are the likes of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who had a 25-year career at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. as a development economist, rising to the number 2 position of managing director. She led the Nigerian team that negotiated the cancellation of 60% of Nigeria's external debt, which amounted to $18 billion, equivalent of 6.8 trillion naira, with the Paris Club. She rose to occupy several prestigious positions, including Finance Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria. She just recently shook the world by becoming the first woman and the first African to hold the coveted position of Director General, World Trade Organization. Another contemporary great woman is Josephine Obiajulu Oke-Odumakin, popularly known as Jo Odumakin. She is a Nigerian women's rights activist who has been involved in over 2,000 cases where women's rights had been disregarded, and she has frequently been arrested for her activism, detained 17 times during the military rule of Ibrahim Babangida for standing up against extrajudicial killings of women and their husbands by the police. In northern Nigeria, there is Aisha Imam, a Nigerian-born human rights activist. She was a former chief of the Culture, Gender and Human Rights Department of the United Nations Population Fund, where she also served as a pioneer national coordinating secretary. Aisha Imam was involved in the successful court appeal that overturned the death conviction of one Amina Lawal for adultery. Obiageli Ezekwesili, another familiar name, is a female public analyst, senior economist advisor, and a chartered accountant from Anambra State, who also was a minister in Nigeria. In March 2019, she won the Forbes Women Africa Social Influencer Award for her efforts on the Bring Back Our Girls campaign on social media. The list of formidable and strong women seems endless. In recent time, on the global scene, the likes of Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1979 to 1990, is also a reference point. She gained intense media attention as Britain's first female Prime Minister and was popularly known as the Iron Lady because of her tough stance on governmental reforms. Angela Merkel, a German politician who has been Chancellor of Germany since 2005, is also an enigma in her own right. She is the first female Chancellor of Germany, who many describe as the most powerful woman in the free world and perhaps the whole world. Outside work, she leads an almost normal life. She is often seen shopping on her own, driving herself in such occasions, and even pushing her trolley in the supermarket. Women are better managers than men. People in some quarters have opined that. Though a man is said to be the head of the family, is this assertion always correct? Man is head of family in terms of providing resources, but a woman takes care of the children, also provides for the family, handles domestic tasks, and supports the man as the head of the family. Women are simply a unique and special gift from God. With the exemplary and outstanding brave roles played by women in Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large, it is safe to say women are also warriors.
That's it on Impact 360 on AD4 TV Radio. I'm Anams Oluchi. Many thanks for watching. Goodbye.